25 years actor extraordinaire, the GC champs on the asses. I am champion of the world. This is JP Will. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, man, I am doing great because of this incredible movie we watched for the show today.
Oh, that's because our feature presentation today is the second installment in the Predator franchise, aptly named Predator 2.
This was before they started getting creative with the sequel names.
Yeah, we could not have done this in any worse order, but that's kind of what we do here, so...
I mean, there's no rhyme or reason to what we do, or maybe there is rhyme and reason to what we do.
Yeah, you'll never know, because we don't know.
But, man, this movie was so much fun.
It's great. It's short. Yeah. It goes down easy. It's just bang, bang, bang.
Exactly.
A lot going on in this movie, too.
But
it just keeps trucking along.
We have a lot to discuss with this movie, for
something else, yeah. But before we get into that, what have you been watching, reading, seeing, doing this week?
So, based on your other show, the Comic Book Club, which if you haven't listened to the first episode, it dropped last week. Check that shit out. I started reading the Spider-Man, the Chip Zdarsky Spider-Man, and good Lord, it's great. I'm halfway through it. It's so good. Spider-Man is a depressing motherfucker.
yeah, some stuff's happened to that guy.
Yeah, some stuff has really happened to that guy. But yeah, it's so good. I'm in the 2000s right now.
Oh, okay, so almost done, like the the 6 issues, I think that is.
Yeah, so if he's in the 2000s, would he be in his 60s at this point?
That's probably about right. I really like this. It's not canon.
Not at all.
It's on most of like the big events in his life that we all know and love, but it does change. It changes a number of big things.
Yeah.
But at the heart of it, it's very Peter Parker. Like it's a good. That's why it was our first episode, because I thought it was a good place, because it's hard to just jump into comics if you've never gotten into them. Like, you can see daunting, you're like a monumental, there's just so much canon and stuff out there. It's like, where do I even start?
Exactly.
I felt like this was just a good way. You get all the beats for the most part, and you get a real good sense of what the character is.
Yeah. Yep. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Nice. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. And then I watched the first episode of Ryan Johnson's new show, Poker Face, on Peacock.
Oh.
Have you not heard of this?
Oh.
Okay, so Ryan Johnson of Knives Out, Brick, Brothers Bloom, Looper fame, created a new show for Peacock starring Natasha Lyonne from Russian Doll called Poker Face. And she plays a down-and-out poker player who's kind of touted as being a, quote, natural lie detector or human lie detector. And she basically had been blackballed by this casino owner, and each episode is tied to the last one, but she basically solves a crime or proves someone's innocence every single episode, though.
Oh, so it's a little like serialized.
Yeah, kind of like Columbo-esque or something like that. But we watched the first episode. Adrian Brody is in it. Benny Bratz is in it. Ron Perlman is in it. It's got a great cast. Great cast.
Nice.
But we liked it a lot, and my nephew just called me right before this and asked if I'd seen episode 3 of the Last of Us yet, and I have not. But he said how much he loved it, and so I'm gonna watch that right after this.
That's the newest one, right?
Yeah, with Nick Offerman.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet either. But I'll probably watch that tomorrow morning.
The fucking internet is ablaze talking about this episode.
Oh, are they? I've been kind of out of pocket today. I've been all over the place. So but I'm glad, because I don't want anything spoiled.
Yeah, I don't want anything spoiled either, but all I know is that it's got Nick Offerman, and then it's got Armand, the fucking hilarious dude from the first season of White Lotus.
Ah, nice.
And he's fucking everywhere. He's killing it.
Nice.
But yeah, that's about it. What about you? What have you been watching, reading, seeing, doing?
Not much. I had a bunch of stuff. I gotta start writing these things down. I always think, oh, I'll remember, and then it comes time, and I can't remember. I mean, Last of Us, yeah, Bad Batch, and that's about it. I think I watched a couple movies, but I can't for the life of me remember what they were. Like my head is just full of Predator.
Should we get into this thing then?
Yeah, fuck it. Let's just get into our feature presentation.
And now, our feature presentation.
Predator 2 from 1990, a 31% for the critics and Rotten Tomatoes, and 44% from the audience, directed by Stephen Hopkins, starring Danny Glover as Mike Harrigan, Gary Busey as Peter Keyes, Ruben Blades as Danny Archuleta, Maria Conchita Alonso as Leona Cantrell, Billy Paxton as Jerry Lambert, and Kevin Peter Hall as the Predator.
First of all, has there ever been a better actor name than Ruben Blades?
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
That might be the coolest actor name I've ever fucking heard.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Cool. And not to mention that guy is awesome. He's so good.
Yep. Everyone's good to this. It's
yeah. It's ridiculous. I remember seeing it as a kid, and just the only thing I remember that has that movie memory in my head is the Jamaican king, like King Willie, pulling the sword out of his cane and like trying to fight the Predator, and then the very last bit at the end where he's on the ship with all the Predators.
See, I have a memory that I guess is a false memory. I guess it's a Bernstein Bears kind of thing. I have a memory of watching this the first time when it was on like Fox, like Saturday afternoon movies. And when it started off, it does. Most of this is still there, but the one thing I remember being in there that apparently just isn't, where it goes Los Angeles, 1997. I remember it saying in the future.
Oh.
And I watched this in 1997 because I have this memory of being like, oh, that's hilarious. I took it out, or if I just completely fabricated this. I don't know.
We'll have to Google. We'll have to Google it. Or
yeah, I don't know.
Anybody else who remembers this, let us know.
As I could have looked it up, but I didn't. I had that in
That's okay.
That I like laughed at that because it was like I watched it in like 96 or 97. I was like, oh, that's funny. But I may have just concocted that completely. So I don't know because it's not there anymore.
Was it 1997 the same year that Skynet went sentient as well and dropped bombs?
It might have been in the because that timeline's so fucked. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I feel like 97 sounds right.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, but. Yeah, of course the critics shit on this movie, but I'm honestly surprised by the audience score of this because this movie was a lot more fun than 40%.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah,
this is a fun movie, especially and this is a Predator movie. I mean,
yeah, and it's a lot better than The Predator, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's like the only one we haven't done, and I don't know if we even will.
I don't see the need.
I actually kind of wanted to watch it the other day. I tried to, but you have to pay for it, and I was like, I'm not paying for this piece of shit.
No thanks.
Yeah, I couldn't find a way to watch it for free without stealing it, like really stealing it. So I'm not.
Yeah, that's not our thing.
The best to have everything crumble because I tried to steal that piece of shit movie. Like that's the one I'd get popped for. They tried to make a sample out of me for taking that movie.
Yeah.
That's just my luck.
No thanks.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it. As I mentioned, title cards, Los Angeles. I think they do a really good job of world building in this movie. Like, there's so much going on in the background, and little choices that I just really appreciate. Like as we've spoken before, everyone's so sweaty. Just so
sweaty. I mean, granted, it's like a heat wave. It's supposed to be 109 degrees. And even with global warming in, Los Angeles, in like downtown Los Angeles, it's gotten in the hundreds for sure. But I don't think it's ever cracked 109.
Yeah, they're constantly harping on the heat and how hot it is.
And people are even sweating, like pitting out suit jackets, as we've seen
it's
back
great.
then.
It's just so sweaty.
Is there not air conditioning in this quote future?
Not. Apparently not. All they have is like box fans.
Yeah. Oh man, and they are in. Oh my god, the worst part of downtown. Even now, but like they're in the worst part of downtown LA.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with my geography of Los Angeles, so you'd be able to fill that in more than I could.
Well, let me just tell you, in downtown LA, in Skid Row, they found the bubonic plague down there.
Oh, neat.
It's just like, it's before, it's unfortunate, before the homeless situation got really bad in LA, there were 3 places that you knew were really bad that you don't go after dark. Venice Boardwalk, Hollywood and Highland, and Skid Row, downtown LA. That's that's near where they are at the beginning of this.
Okay. I mean, we start off strong here. Warring gang factions all over the place. Huge gun battle in the street. Harrigan just rolls in and is like piece of crap Oldsmobile just running into cars.
And did you notice how everyone has the most gigantic Dirty Harry hand cannon with laser sight or a scope on it?
They all have some sort of weird attachment to make it look like the future.
Yeah.
It's great. It's fantastic.
Oh, so
they're all nonsensical, but they're just all these little tiny additions to their guns. So nothing is quite modern day. Like, it's to show that it is in the upcoming future. Maybe I just put that together in my brain that they were just beating us over the head with it was the future, that I just put that line in there.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
No, I really think it existed. I think this was a thing and they took it out, but I don't know. Anyways, he's on the case. He's super cop. There's 2 officers caught in the crossfire, and they can't get to him. It's a great use of everyone screaming in the chaos and mixed with reporters on the scene and things like that. I always like a newsman for exposition in a movie.
Yeah. He's basically like TMZ. If TMZ were one person, he's just trying to get all the bullshit.
He reminds me of the reporter from Die Hard.
Oh, the prick. Yeah.
A lot of those vibes. So yeah, he's he gets filled in on the situation. These cops are trapped there, and he's like, "Fuck this!" Gears up his little trunk full of weapons.
Yeah, he's got an arsenal in his trunk.
It's just too small, and then he grabs the big shotgun.
And then his car shit is awesome that he does. This little stunt that he does. It's awesome.
Yeah, he puts a bunch of bulletproof vests in the windows and knocks the door off, and then he's just surfing the car out the window.
Yeah,
which there's no cover for him on that side of it. It's not like he's going at an angle. He's just they could easily shoot him, but whatever. It looked fun.
Exactly.
So yeah, he busts in and saves the 2 cops or whatever, and the whole time the Predator's just watching it all.
And not only does this gang have so many guns, they kind of retreat inside after Danny Glover breaks the wall or whatever.
Yeah,
and they have a giant arsenal inside, and then they have a briefcase full of cocaine that they're just
that guy just grabs a handful of it and goes, just pushes it right in his face, and he's like, "Yeah." Okay, prayer. So yeah, they got him chased inside, and they're gearing up, whatever. And they start going in, but because there's an explosion all of a sudden in the building. They're like, "What the fuck's going on?" We didn't do that. So they all move in, and it's just mayhem. It's just a slaughterhouse inside. One guy's left. He chases him to the roof. But before he can do anything, the Predator comes in, just because this guy can kind of see him, and he's freaking out. He's the guy who took about a half a pound of cocaine to the fucking dome. So
and did you hear what he said? Clearly. He said, he's like, I don't remember the name, but he was like, so-and-so is ready. And then the shit breaks, and then Predator jumps down from the ceiling and fucking murks everybody.
Yeah, and that guy ends up getting killed on the roof on top, and Harrigan sort of like sees him, but he like doesn't know what he's seeing. You know, there's a lot of like I see the Predator's outline, and then like the you know,
yeah. But
a lot of
Danny Glover had a gun pointed at the Predator. Why didn't the Predator shoot him there?
I don't know. He's still like sussing things out, I guess.
I guess so, yeah.
Who knows? He got his trophies already. So they go look at all like the aftermath, find like a guy strung up, and it's just a giant mess. Like everyone's dead. They can't figure it out. They're like, what the hell's going on here? Chief. Big mad at Harrigan, of course, because that's how these things go.
Yep. Classic.
Feds show up in like their like silver helicopter, all sleek and everything. I'll go back to HQ, and Harrigan gets chewed out again, and we meet Gary Busey's Peter Keyes.
Oh, he's so good in this.
I love him in this. He's crazy, and he's on the case. And basically, this is like, who's in charge here? Not anymore. You're not. Kind of.
Yeah, my hands are tied, and all this shit. Yeah.
So they have a chat. Whatever. They're not really friendly. That night, more drug war violence. Like a bunch of the Jamaican gang break into one of the other gangs. While this guy's like getting down.
Like seriously, like Cinemax, early 90s style.
Yeah, props to her. Like, they bust in and she isn't stopping.
No.
She's on a mission. Like, good on her. But yeah, they crash that party and start like torturing the guy and everything, and gonna like take his heart out. And that's when the Predator shows up. He's just laying waste to everybody. It's great.
Holy hell! Fucking these dudes up.
Yeah, I love the net. He does the net thing with its like retracts and it's all pointy or whatever, sharp. And it's a good time. So everyone's dead except of course the naked lady. They're supposed to wait for the feds, like they get the call, but they go in anyways because he doesn't play by the rules. And lock in, again, another slaughter. A bunch of guys are strung up and like skinned this time.
Ooh, kind of like when they find him in the jungle in the first one, and all the dudes are strung up and skinned.
Yeah. So everyone's like starting to figure things out. Danny sees like some weird spear and like the grate up above, and they're just like, "What the fuck is going on here?" But before they can get too far into it, feds come in, kick their asses out.
This is our crime scene, Don't touch anything. You're walking on evidence right now.
Yeah, the whole thing. And that night, Danny's supposed to meet Harrigan to go like investigate at like 1 a.m. But he like goes in early and gets got by the Predator.
Oof. Yeah. And it's tough too because he's just saying, "No, please don't." He sounds.
He's begging for his life for a while, and that was a little upsetting.
Yeah, that was incredibly upsetting.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Then his little necklace gets knocked off, and a bunch of blood drips on it.
The blood drips down. Like,
So yeah, he's dead. Harrigan, he's super mad about this. Really angry, yelling, screaming, whatnot. They do some more investigating. Eventually, like, the leader of the Jamaican gang just like shows up and wants to meet with Harrigan.
Yeah, while they're hot boxing the hell out of their car.
Like, guy, he gets in, he's like, "You want some ganja, man?"
And they're just like laughing at him.
Yeah. So stupid. He meets with him like in an alley. He doesn't really tell him anything. He's like speaking in riddles. It's really weird.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the point of that meeting was.
Yeah, it was. They talk, nothing is accomplished, and then Danny leaves.
Yeah. And immediately as he leaves, the Predator shows up and fights this guy. And they do that great thing where like the guy's like, he unsheathes his little sword from his cane. He's ready to fight, and he does like the battle cry, and then it it's close up on his face, and then it pulls back, and it's just the Predator carrying his screaming head.
Dude, that prosthetic looked amazing.
That was great. That was great. I also liked when the Predator was walking through the water. It's just like it's making all these weird like mechanical sounds for some reason.
Yeah.
It's nonsense, but I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's dead. Whatever. They Predator basically is just like toying with Harrigan at this point.
Mm-hmm.
He's just fucking with him.
Mm-hmm.
Then man, we move along quick because then we get the subway attack.
Yeah. Oh, what's real quick though? Something that comes into play later. He goes to the cemetery to see. I forget whose grave he sees, but he comes across a
going to Danny's grave.
Oh, right. He comes to a kid holding a fake gun.
Yeah.
And the kid goes, "Want some candy?" And then you hear Predator going, "Want some candy?"
Yeah, because the little kid gets like 3 dots on him because he sees the weapon, but then he realizes it's fake. It's like, oh my god, they're gonna blast this little kid.
Yeah, seriously. What is this? Assault in Precinct 13?
Yeah. Like, mommy, I saw a ghost. But yeah, it seems like this that we're supposed to think that the Predator's like has a code or whatever.
Yeah.
I will poke holes in that with something that happens later. Because they're all bad sports. They're good sports until they're not.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when we get on the subway. Bill Paxton and Leona are on the subway, and it's great. There's like some ruffians on the subway trying to like stick up a guy, and then everyone in the train's like packing. They just all pull guns on these ruffians, and then that's when the Predator just attacks out of nowhere and like comes through the ceiling of the train.
Holy shit! Chaos ensues.
Everybody. He in what's his name? Lambert's like get out, get the people out. So Leona's like taking the people out of the train, and he makes his little Alamo last stand, just firing at him. He can't, obviously doesn't go well.
Yeah, he unloads 2 full clips into him at point blank range, nothing. Then grabs a machete. He's like, "Let's dance."
Yeah.
I don't think this is gonna go well for you, Bill.
Yeah, and it didn't. Big time dead. After she gets everybody out, she goes back and finds him all strung up, and the Predator grabs her and like does his little infrared thing and sees that she's pregnant, so he doesn't kill her. Again, he has a code. Okay,
sure.
That's when he starts like piecing things together, right? Because he hears that she's pregnant. It's like they killed a bunch of civilians, but they're all armed. Like, what's going on here? He starts like figuring it out, and I like little things that help him put it together. Like we had a scene before where he's like on the street and he just looks up at like a store window and it's all like taxidermy like animals. So it's like all these things are starting to like come together in his brain.
It's smart.
It is
Totally smart.
You don't need to do that in a movie like this. Like, and you could argue, okay, that's silly that he just happened to be in front of that window, but whatever. Like it shows that he didn't just like he's not just a Mary Sue. Like I just know everything. Like he's piecing it to like he is, but
I mean, yeah, exactly.
But they're putting these little tiny things in there, which I appreciate. So yeah, he's starting to figure it all out. He's chasing the Predator, and that's when the feds show up and just T-bone him and grab him.
Adam Baldwin on the case.
Yeah, I love Adam Baldwin. That guy's awesome. I hope he's not like a crappy dude because I love him.
Yeah.
I'm talking about his characters. I don't know anything about him. And they grab him, bring him to like a trailer, and give a bunch of exposition. Which I really like this scene because they're like explaining everything. They give some nods to the original, Like, we've been tracking this one forever. Like there was another one in the jungles and this and that, and killed an entire special forces team, and so you kind of realize they're not totally like bad guys. Like I mean, they are in the sense that they're not trying to kill it. They want it for profit, basically.
Right.
But they're also still trying to stop it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So they're not exactly the most evil, government agents.
Yeah.
So they after all this exposition, they move they're all in these little space blanket suits.
In the slaughterhouse.
Yeah, because that's where it comes to feed. They've been tracking it for a while, and it has patterns. It's it comes to feed here. He sees in a certain spectrum, so we cover our body heat in these little suits, and it can't, he can't see us. And they have these freeze guns, basically, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, like a liquid nitrogen blowtorch.
Yeah, essentially. That's probably the best description for it. And so they move in. They're looking for it. But the Predator, this is not his first rodeo. He starts adjusting his visor, looking at different spectrums of light, and finally comes to one where it can see their flashlights.
Mm-hmm.
And Harrigan, being the number one cop, he's turn the lights off. He can see him. He knows before everyone else. And they don't listen because they don't. Because they're the cocky government guys,
Pretty much. They think they know everything.
Yeah, so he moves in on his own, but he takes his sweet-ass time to move in on his own.
And I love how Adam Baldwin's you'll ruin everything, and Danny Glover just goes, go fuck yourself.
It's so good. Danny Glover's so angry in this movie. It's so great.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like the actor Danny Glover doesn't want to be there, but it works really well with this movie.
It does.
He's just fuck this. I'm hot. This sucks. This is stupid. I don't want to be here. He's just angry.
He's method. He's going very method.
Yeah. He might just be a great actor. I don't know.
Yeah.
So inside, while he goes to his trunk and he's getting all these weapons, the Predator is just demolishing this team inside. It pops in between their little circle and just starts wrecking everybody. It's great. He finally comes in, guns blazing, injures the Predator a bit, hits him a little, even though he's just hip firing like a maniac. Then he just unloads his ass with a shotgun.
Just fucks him up royally. But the thing, Danny Glover fucking double tap. Did nobody watch Zombieland?
I know. Yeah, because he thinks he's dead. I mean, he gives him a little poke in his room, and then he decides to take his mask off, and that's when Keys shows up. But we get you are one ugly mother, and then he pops his eyes open, motherfucker.
Oh, motherfucker.
It's so dumb.
So stupid, but I love it.
I do too. And then Keys, he ain't dead yet. He shows up with a stupid little freeze gun. And that's when we get the greatest scene in cinematic history, where the Predator has this magic disc that he can it's like a boomerang. He throws it, cuts through anything, and then comes back to him. And this low shot of they're in a slaughterhouse of all the dead cows and everything, and just the legs of Keys, and it cuts through all the dead animals, cuts through Keys. His legs fall, about 10 gallons of blood fall. His top half stays suspended. It never.
I have a trivia bit about that.
Never falls, and it's awesome. I love that scene. So that is probably my favorite scene in any movie ever. It doesn't make any sense, but it's so awesome. So yeah, he's cut in half. Whatever. Harrigan runs, gets to the roof, throws a spear at him while they're up there, and then bad job by Harrigan, because he gets the spear out and goes to hit him with it on the edge and just completely misses with the spear. He just knocks him over the edge.
Yeah.
Good.
What's up with that?
That was weird. And they all tumble off the ledge. They're hanging on there. And we get an amazing line. Okay, pussy face.
I wrote that down too.
Unbelievable line. And this is where I'm talking about the Predator's a bad sport. Because he's like, I'm done. He's hanging off there by like one hand and starts doing his little bomb thing on his wrist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you look that everyone in like, because they've made it clear that his explosion is like a 300 block radius, you know?
Yeah.
It's a big bomb. Like, did you look and make sure no one was pregnant or everyone had guns or like, no, you didn't. You're a bad sport. You're a piece of shit.
It's a diaper
You're
baby.
just gonna kill all these people. Sure. Yeah, like that. He's not a good sport. They only play by the rules when it suits them. They're like bikers on the street. They only obey the traffic laws that suit them. They don't care about anything else.
Oh man.
Fuck the Predator and fuck bikers. Come at me, bikers, you assholes. So yeah, this starts happening, and Harrigan, he grabs the little disc that's stuck in the side of the building and just chops his hand off.
Just slices it like a Ginsu knife through a penny.
It's great. Yeah, he's just cutting through old boots in an infomercial. So, and he falls and like grabs a pipe and like falls into like some apartment building. The Predator does.
Mm-hmm.
And then he like do some field dressings in the sink with like a space Bunsen burner and all sorts of weird things.
Yeah, he basically turns bathroom tile and mirror into Jello.
Yeah, he's got like neon blue Jello that apparently like fixes his wounds or something.
Cauterizes it or something. Who knows?
Yeah, he's making some sort of medicine. Fine, whatever. And all while slowly Harrigan like shimmies his way down, just really slowly.
Because they kind of allude to this a little bit earlier in the movie, but that he's got a big issue with heights.
Oh, okay. So that's fair. And like it goes into some old people's apartment. My biggest problem with this movie is they're watching Jeopardy, and it's like the middle of the night. Jeopardy's not on in the middle of the night. This is before DVRs. This is before any of that. How are they watching Jeopardy?
Yeah, and
that's my problem with this movie.
Yeah, and she and the husband is asleep in the other room, and she's like, Harold, wake up.
It's so good. And eventually he gets in and busts out. He's just like Kool-Aid man going through the doors. And it's like, he talks to the old lady for a second. He's like, I don't remember what he says, but she goes, I don't think he gives a shit.
Oh, he goes, I'm a cop. Don't worry, I'm a cop.
That's it, yeah. And she goes, I don't think he gives a shit. That's so good. He keeps chasing him. He's like, falls down an elevator shaft or something. He's just like, why can't you stay on the ground?
Dude, exactly.
Falls all the way down, falls through this giant hole in the ground, lands right on top of the ship, decides to make his way in. Probably not his best move, but they have a fight inside, their final fight inside, you know. He ends up using the disc to win and thinks it's all over. Like, that's when we see all like the skulls and stuff on the wall, and like this silly little throwaway scene spawned all of our Alien versus Predator comics and movies and everything, because there was a alien head on there too.
Yep.
Which they just like did for fun, just like a fun little, like, that was before the internet, and like, you know, that was just something the filmmakers did just for fun. And it just became
a thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he ends up winning, and then like 20 Predators show up. All for whatever reason, they're all camouflaged on their own ship. I don't know why, but
yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah, like, what are y'all doing? I don't know. Mm-hmm. I guess there's no like doors, so like if anyone wants some alone time, they gotta go a little. But then he like drops the disc, and he's like, "All right, who's next?"
I love that. And he says it with no fear in his voice or anything, but more of just like, you know, I'm fucking tired of this shit. Yeah. Okay.
Well, the fact he dropped the disc, like, he no longer has a weapon, I took that as he's just like resigned to his fate. He's like, there's nothing I can do here. Like, even with weapon, like, there's a million of them. I'm just, this is it. I might as well go out like a badass. Instead of attacking him, they just like grab the dead Predator and like shuffle him off, and then they all start going invisible again for whatever reason. And before the main one like turns away and he's like pauses for a second, and he like grabs a like old flintlock pistol that we saw from Prey out of the belt and tosses it to him, and it says 1776 on it. And then they start to take off. He like runs out. You know, he almost gets torched by their afterburners or whatever, covered in soot and dust and everything, crawling out, but he's okay. That's when Adam Baldwin and the Fed show up. You know, they're like, he's like, what the fuck? And he's just like shows him the gun, and credits.
And I love too how Adam Baldwin's like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, we almost had him. And right before the credits, Danny Glover's just like, don't worry, you'll have another chance.
Yeah, they'll be back. Don't you worry. So good.
I love this movie. I think it's so much fun. It's
fantastic.
Great.
It's fantastic.
I have a shitload of trivia if you want to hear it.
Oh, hit us with some trivia.
Several of the hunting party members were played by players from the Los Angeles Lakers. Danny Glover was a big fan, and when the production needed several very tall people to play the background predators, he asked them to help out.
That makes sense. Yeah, because they're all like 7 feet tall. Like, they're huge dudes.
Huge. This movie was shot in 4 weeks and edited in 4 weeks.
I kind of believe that.
Really quick.
I'm putting this in heavy quotes. It makes sense in the world that they're in, you know, that they built.
Yeah.
Like, everything tracks. Like,
oh yeah. The subway attack scene was directly adapted from the first Predator comic book series. The producers thought it was cool and wanted to use it in the film.
Yeah, I don't know how he like showed up there, but whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, I loved it. It works. Sure. In a backstory explaining Dutch's absence from the sequel, Keyes had learned of Dutch's encounter with the Predator and tracked him down to a hospital. Dutch was being treated for radiation sickness, thought to be a result of exposure to the Predator's self-destruct device. After hearing Dutch's account of events, Keyes and the OWLF team were sent to the jungle to investigate and study the site where the Predator detonated the device. They found evidence of a spaceship launch in the jungle, and the deceased Predator ship had automatically returned to the Predator home world. Dutch later escaped from the hospital and vanished, and Keyes believed he was still alive.
Oh yeah, the comics, Dutch is all over the place. Comics are kind of cool.
Yeah, I gotta check those out. This was the first film to be given the newly instituted NC-17 rating in the U.S. for its graphic violence before it was recut to its final theatrical length.
Oh yeah, it's pretty violent. I mean,
it's incredibly violent. I can only imagine how much more violent it had to have been to be NC-17.
Yeah, I want to see that cut.
Yeah. Oh, where's that Stephen Hopkins director cut?
Yeah, release the Hopkins cut.
Let's just start a trend. Release the Hopkins cut. This is the first film Gary Busey made after his nearly fatal motorcycle accident.
Oh, so this is when he kind of had brain damage.
Yeah.
He's in love now.
He's still so good in this movie, though.
Oh, he's great.
At one point, Patrick Swayze was approached to star in the film, but was unable to because he was injured during the filming of Roadhouse.
Oh, wow. I guess pain do hurt.
Pain do hurt. John Lithgow was Stephen Hopkins' first choice for Peter Keyes, but Joel Silver pushed for Gary Busey instead.
Oh, that would have been great, too. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. That's one of those. I don't want him to be recast, but that would have, without missing Lithgow in there, would have been absolutely perfect.
That would have been great. In the novel, Harrigan doesn't kill the Predator, but severely wounds it with the smart disc, at which point the elder Predator and other hunters arrive, at which point City Hunter willingly allows the elder Predator to decapitate it, at which point the novel ends.
Yeah, I mean, that's been kind of a theme. I think they sort of did that in others where it's like, I mean, at least in comic books, I know the Batman one, I think they like the Predator, when he's beaten by Batman, he like falls on his own sword, kind of thing.
Oh, sure. It's the warrior code or whatever.
Yeah, because again, the code when it suits them, it's like, oh, other people are around and can see this, so now I can't be a little baby boy piece of shit and break the rules.
Aye. The death of Peter Keyes, as shown in the theatrical cut, underwent many edits before the film could pass the MPAA ratings board with an R. The scene was originally much more graphic, and despite the attempts to edit the sequence, the film kept receiving an NC-17 rating. Finally, the scene was cut in such a way as to only imply what actually happened to Keyes, leading to the rather confusing moment of his legs dropping to the floor while his upper body mysteriously vanishes. The original sequence had Keyes pinned against the nearby column, his legs falling to the ground while his torso remains stuck to the structure, his internal organs spilling to the floor. The Predator then recalls the disc, and Keyes' torso then falls to the ground as well.
Unbelievable, because there's nothing implied about it.
Nothing at all.
Like, the whole rating, other people do the rating stuff, it's just like, it's ridiculous. It's all semantics and just like, who are we doing this for?
Yeah.
You know, like, honestly, I think this was more upsetting than what you just verbalized. Like, yeah. It's just like none of this makes sense, and then just watching a gallon of like multiple gallons of blood just bleh. So gross.
Ugh. In the original draft of the screenplay, Dutch from the original film was set to return and was going to lead a team to hunt down the Predator in Los Angeles, but Arnold Schwarzenegger disliked the script and that his character became the villain, and he declined to return, and Dutch was replaced by Peter Keyes.
Yeah. In the comics, Dutch kind of like becomes a crazy person.
Really?
Just trying to like, well, because he's like obsessed, you know?
Mm-hmm.
With hunting these things down.
And last, but certainly not least, body count. Body count.
Oh, man. I'm going to go with 52.
Close, 44. 1 by Leona, 7 by Harrigan, and 28 by the Predator.
Yeah, there's no way I was going to be able to count it all. I wasn't even going to try. This is a shoot from the hip, just like my buddy Harrigan.
But that's it for my trivia.
We just steamrolled through this, but I'm fine with that. I mean, like, what else is there to say? It's just ridiculous and it's fun. Like, it's great. It's
such a great, fun, crazy, ridiculous movie.
They just don't make movies like this anymore.
They really don't. It had all those 80s tropes in it that I love.
Most 80s movie not being in the 80s. I know it was 90, but like, so it basically this is a very 80s movie.
Oh, incredibly 80s. Did we decide on something for next week?
I don't believe we did. I have some people I want to bring on, so we'll see. We'll see if things match up. So I'll put it in the show notes. I'll talk to you.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
That to you. Now that I say it out loud, I realize I mentioned that to you. I'd gone on another show, and I promised to bring mom, and I want to do that. So
all good. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But that's anything else you want to add?
I mean, that's all I got. Like, I mean, this is the second time really I've done this movie because I did a live watch with our good friend Swedish Horror Nerd on First Class Horror. Our other good friend Aaron, his stream, but it was just me and Aaron wasn't there. It's just me and him. So he did a live watch. You can find that on the channel. But yeah. I mean, I think I've talked this thing to death. Why don't you hit us where you can find us?
You can find us at www.actionmoviebookclub.com. You can also find us on Twitter at ActionMovieBC or on Instagram at ActionMovieBookClub. We've also been on YouTube, and we're trying to post more videos on there. So give us a like and subscribe on there. And yeah, give us a 5-star rating and a good review on anywhere where you listen to the podcast, because anything helps. We want to get in more ears, boost us in that algorithm, because we love doing what we do, and we just want to keep doing it. And maybe someday, make a little bit of scratch for doing that. Would be nice.
All right. That'd be a bit of all right.
But that's about it on my end.
Yeah. So, oh man, I guess that's all I got. Why don't you take us out?
Happy trails, Hans.
Okay, pussy face.